got in trouble in a video for simply saying the word that Geo called me. And it was a despicable word. I didn't realize that I was going to get in trouble for it because it was aimed at me. But who cares? You know, it was a nice break, to be quite honest. I got a bunch of stuff that I needed to get done. But it's also been an enlightening week. Um, I found out that Thomas has been working with this Johnny Dub dude. It's a fake account, but constant emails, which I just send to cops and investigators. But come to find out, first there was this big thing of Thomas was bragging because I didn't know that he and Johnny Dub are the ones who sent Isaac to go talk to Nathan Stoltman when he was doing his Lift the Veil series. And I didn't know who sent Isaac. I wasn't, it's not like I'm obsessive about them. But come to find out, Johnny Dub is Lucien Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. It's Doug Mesner. So when I started to realize that, then I started to put the dates together. They murdered Isaac in May of 2019. The Erling, Iowa gas station explosion happened less than a year later, in April of 2020. It was just boom, boom, boom. They were trying to get rid of all of us. And why? What was Isaac trying to expose before he ended up dead? A child trafficking ring. What have I been at this for years, decades? A child trafficking ring. And now that I realize that Doug Mesner was involved with Isaac, I'm starting to realize that he's probably involved with Owen as well. And Owen, they didn't just take Owen out because he was my friend. That would be a bit narcissistic of me to actually theorize that. They took out Owen because there was a abducted and murdered child involved with all of this. Ricky Chaddick in Omaha, Nebraska. 12 years old. Around his abduction, there was a man and a woman seen driving a white Oldsmobile. That man and woman were my father and my stepmother. The white Oldsmobile was my grandmother's Shurters. The reason why I say Owen is involved is because who was Ricky Chaddick's stepdad? Neil Wingert, Owen's brother. And so there was a connection there. But we all vacationed at Silver Lake, Minnesota, and we supposedly didn't know each other. So that's what I figured. That's how my father and stepmother got eyes on Ricky Chaddick, is because they were going to Silver Lake, Minnesota. Silver Lake, Minnesota is where all the kids were being exchanged. You know, I still have the picture from Silver Lake, Minnesota that was painted by Bob Ross. I think that's his name, Russ. Some famous who signed it. But this was a place that we had, and right down in this area, there was an outdoor pavilion, screened in. And that's where they would exchange the kids. Owen knew that his brother Neil didn't have anything to do with the Ricky Chaddock case. Knew that he loved the boy because they had all known each other from the day one. They were all friends, and then people got married. Isn't that how it works? And so all of this combined together. And they took out Owen because they knew that Owen agreed with me that Neil didn't have anything to do with Ricky Chaddock. So all surrounding dead children. That's what this group is all involved with. You know? And so, and the coincidences of the people who are together in all of this, you know, I stopped talking to Nathan Stoltman because Nathan Stoltman started getting inundated by idiots. The last straw for me was he had some dude who went on there posing as a targeted individual, but the whole stuff that they talk about, that this dude was talking about, didn't make any sense whatsoever. And I figured that they were sending people to Nathan so that he would interview them and then look like an idiot. So they were sending him people to discredit him. And that's the reason why I stopped working with Nathan, because there was nothing. It was like Isaac, the last conversation, telling me that he had 4 of Colonel Michael Aquino's phone numbers, and he was harassing the crap out of Michael Aquino. And hey, good to see all of you guys. You know, the break did me good. It did me good. They're on top of me. My police don't help, you know? The fact that they were able to get into my house, which I said they do all the time anyway, but they took a Dell laptop, a 2005 Dell laptop, and then bragged to me about it. I would not have even known that stupid thing was gone, except that they bragged about it to me in email. So I went down to look for it because I just had it in my hands last November. And so, well, I tell you what, I haven't been in here for a while. Let's start off with prayer. You know, I'll start it off and end it this time, because that's where my focus is now going. This child trafficking stuff, I'm just tired of it. And so, with that said, I'm going to start with prayer. Heaven, we come to you as your children, and we are facing harsh days. But then we also realize that this is the end. It has never been this bad before, and it will never be this bad again. And we just ask you to keep us centered and grounded, because it is so easy to get caught up in the anger and the hate that is just palatable in the air. You really have to make a conscious choice not to let it affect you. And we ask that you calm us so that we do not get overtaken by anger and righteous indignation. And you know that in the last week I have been praying for that over and over and over. They'll say that I'm nothing like Jesus Christ, and they're right. Thomas is right. I'm not like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was all about love, and our brother taught us how to live the word. But this group that I am fighting, I am so sick of and so angry, and I find them to be an abomination. And to say that I have to fight myself with anger and wanting to strike out, it's not a joke, you know, especially when I was taught so many ways to actually strike them, not even leave my home. But I've been told that I can't do that. Even now, lately, I've been told that. And so I have to follow the rules. The rules are the same for me as everyone else. And just ground us. And come through me and let my words in this webcast be heard. Because I really do want to change direction and focus on the word. You sent your son, our brother Jesus Christ, down to teach us the word and show us how to emulate his behavior. And we are grateful beyond words. And so I say everything that I've just said, thankfully and gratefully and lovingly, in your son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. All one. I'm going to start with prayer and end with prayer from now on. That's what I'm going to do. And my focus, these child killers are going to get theirs. Sure. I mean, thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. When I found out that Doug Mesner is involved, and then the funniest part about it is that when I figured it out and then I started making a thing about it, now Thomas, who went on and on and on about how he's worked with this Johnny Dub for years. I mean, what? Isaac's been dead for 4 years, 5 years, and they were on top of him back then. So he's been working with this person for a long time. And then suddenly he finds out that Johnny Dub is Doug Mesner. And, oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. After how many years of working together? Now you're going to pretend like you don't know who the dude is, that he lied to you, and you're going to rebuke him after how many years of working with him? It is all about this child trafficking crap. It's all about this child trafficking crap. And when they get called out, Thomas does the same thing Doug does. They don't admit shit. When you bring out something about their behavior, like Thomas went on and on and on about he's not a felon, but then he just started sending me emails a week ago who said Jesus Christ was a felon and Trump is a felon. And at least I'm not a fake gay guy. That's not the word he used. He didn't use the word Geo used, but I'm not sure what I can say anymore. And I know they watch this. I don't know why anyone would pose as a fake gay guy. Especially me. I was married to a dude for 20 years. My sister, Cindy, told everyone that I burned my closet down when I was 3. So to say that I'm a fake gay guy, I just don't get it, And I don't see what difference it makes anyway. I've been celibate for the last 13 years, 14 years, ever since my divorce, because of my faith, And so I don't see where it makes any difference. But when I called them out, then all of a sudden everything gets all switched around. But what I was saying was Thomas says that Jesus Christ was a felon and Trump is a felon, and when he was thinking about it, at least he wasn't a fake gay guy, even though he used the word that you can gain the word from Sodom and Gomorrah, and so he admitted that he was a felon. And so I'm dealing, and that's what my sheriff is protecting. Lucien Greaves, who is running this satanic after-school daycare, who there are national pictures of him pulling out his dick and balls for all the media to take pictures of. And that's the one that they've deemed appropriate to be around kids. And Thomas is hanging out with them and working with them. And then when you call him out on it, and then you find out that it was Doug Mesner, then all of a sudden that's not convenient anymore and the story changes. It's like dealing, I feel like I am trapped in a room with people who have escaped an insane asylum. That's what I feel like. Because it's hard to keep up on the conversations because they're so irrational most of the time. They're just irrational. I just got an email today from one of them. They've been pining away for me, obviously, because I got another email after days because I haven't been dealing with this stuff. And when I do get it, I just forward it. I don't even deal with them, you know? And I just think that all of their stuff is starting to come out. You know, I think it's all starting to come out. And I think that's the reason why they're acting so crazy, is because it's all starting to come out. And my sheriff protects them. One explosion, that Early, Iowa gas station explosion, one explosion that levels the place is way different than two explosions that happened 9.5 minutes apart. To where the owner got out, went back in, got his brother-in-law, got them both back out before the second explosion leveled the place. And he's on the KETV news report, just like Neil Gross is, the sheriff, just like I am. Because had that wall come down that they expected, that 300 plus pound pieces of debris that ended up 9 blocks on the other side of town would have directly hit my house. What the Early, Iowa gas station was a terrorist explosion. If anybody else would have done that, it would have been considered a terrorist explosion, a terrorist attack, because that's what it did. It took out a huge section of town and spewed debris all over it. And less than a year after Isaac Kappy ended up dead. Less than a year. And Doug Mesner was definitely involved with all of my shit. He was the one sending me all the threats. He was the one attacking me for years when I lived in Erling. He was the one, his group, and it was non-stop. What I've been dealing with in the last year with Thomas and the Dead Isaac Happy Club and all that, I spent a decade like that with Mesner and his group. Lucien Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. And I know that he knows that that the focus. A year ago last Christmas, that was why they did that whole weird Baphomet statue at the Capitol. And then some dude from Missouri came up and chopped its head off. And it was all over the news. But it was a distraction to keep away everyone from focusing on the stuff that I was trying to bring up and bring out. Because Omaha, we don't have any big towns here. You know? No big towns, no big cities. There's no big cities. What city is in Iowa? It's all a bunch of small town people. Oh yeah. They're all sitting in a Discord chat right now watching this. They watch everything I do. They watch everything I do. And I'm just going to keep saying the same thing. But my focus, it can't be on these child killers every day. It can't. Because it just drains a person's soul. It makes me sick to my stomach to have to sit and think about these idiots. And I'm sick and tired of dreading about going into my email. Because God knows what emails I'm going to have in there and what they're going to be. Because the stuff is just bizarre. Bye, Timothy. Thank you for coming in. And I'm sick of them breaking into my house. They break into my house all the time. And people in town are just like, well, can't you just get over it? They break into my house. What are they doing to my dogs? And the police do not help. You know, the police do not help. You call 911 and they send me to a fake 911 or a fake FBI satellite office in Council Bluffs that doesn't exist. Then the last time I called in, they told me that Neil Gross wasn't working. Well, that was bullshit. Because I saw him, Casey's was on fire. Someone plugged something in and it set a fire in there. It wasn't any big deal. Nothing burned down. But everyone was outside. And as I was driving, after being told that Neil Gross isn't working, I saw him with all the other police. And he was dressed like a sheriff. He was standing by a sheriff's car. And when he saw me, it was pretty obvious it was him because the minute I saw him look at me, and then he leaned all the way in to the open window of the car. Dude, you're 6'5". You're pretty hard to miss, you know? And so, no. The reason why statistically speaking, people get shot with their own weapons. And I'd be one of those people. And if push comes to shove, could I pull the trigger on someone? No, I couldn't. I know enough about myself that I would pause enough to where it would become dangerous to me. You know, I'm not there. I'm not here when they break in. I'm not here. They watch as I leave. And they dance around like dickheads so they know that I know that they're there. You know? They don't... My window and their window isn't even 50 feet apart. The only thing that separates us is an alley. That's how close we are together. And they don't work jobs, and they sit in those apartments, and they watch me come and go. And the minute I leave, they're in my house. I've gotten cameras, but they have a device that can shut Wi-Fi off. They can shut cameras off. You just have to Google. That's why I said the police are out there telling people, oh, well, we've never heard of that. He must be crazy. But all you have to do is type the shit into Google and stuff comes right up. You know? I've called them. I've emailed them. They don't do shit. They don't do shit. And focusing on it, just, it's hard to fill your heart with love when you have to push the rage out of the way. And so I understand all of you out there who are having a hard time filling your hearts with love. I can't say it's easy. You know, it's not easy, but it's imperative. It's necessary. And I guess that's what faith is about. And yes, thank you for asking me, and thank you for being kind. Ray, I'll answer questions. If you guys have asked questions, I just won't be attacked, because that's what this group does, is that they attack. And they say all kinds of stupid crap that's all veiled. And it's just to put doubt in people's minds. And I know that you're just asking questions. And I've tried to do everything I possibly can to take care of the situation. Just like Isaac did. And look at what happened to Isaac. And the same people who are on top of me are the same people who are all behind Isaac. Now that I know that Doug Mesner is working with Thomas, do you know how irritating it becomes to know that Thomas and Lucien Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, are working together? And all of this stuff is out in the open. It's all out in the open. And you just have to look at Doug's background to realize he has no business being around kids. He has no business being around kids. But they're Nazi, fascist bullshit isn't working the way they wanted it to work. It's not. And people are standing up to it now. And so, and it's good that people are standing up to it. Their shit isn't working anymore. They're not getting away. They can't just blatantly just go do shit and not have pushback. And they're starting to get pushback. And they'll say, oh, well, you really can't use the word Nazi anymore. The fuck you can't. You know? That's exactly what they are. But now we live in a day where you're not supposed to call things as they are. Because good is evil and evil is good. But it's funny because I journeyed several times this week. When I first got banned and I didn't realize why I got banned, I thought it was them, and it wasn't them. It was, but I simply in that video used the word that Geo left for me on my phone, and it was enough to get me into trouble because it's a despicable word. I agreed. And so when it happened, of course I thought, oh, well, this is their opportunity. I'm not going to be able to, you know, they're going to be able to come take me out because I know people worry about it. You know, I know people worry about it. That's why I asked Sherilyn, will you just go in and tell people that I just can't post for a week? Because I know people worry about it. And then what is everyone going to do? You know? And I just realized that, so I journeyed and was told that heaven has it all in hand. And that the people that are conspiring against me will be, in the end, they will fall at my feet and beg for mercy. That's what I was told. And that all of this stuff is, heaven is busy. Heaven is here. They wanted a war with heaven. They're getting a war with heaven. And we're supposed to have faith. And so I ended up spending time working on my house. Would you quit, you big noise machine? No, I won't give them any. They'll get the same exact amount of mercy their group gave everybody else, which is none. Which is none. Which is none. I'll give them the same amount of mercy they gave Isaac, that they gave my sister Cindy, that they gave Owen. I'll give them the exact same amount of mercy. You know, you reap what you sow. And if your group didn't give any mercy, I don't know how you think you can expect any mercy. You reap what you sow. And they all think they're so freaking crafty. Doug Mesner, Thomas, they all think that they're just brilliant because they're deceptive. And most people don't call out people's deceptions. It's not that they're intelligent. It's not that this group is intelligent. It's just that nobody's going to call them out on their stuff because what's the point? You know? And if God meets them mercy, then God meets them mercy. But I know that this group, heaven sees this group of child traffickers and all those who would fight to protect those fucking child traffickers as an abomination. It looks at them as an abomination. And they all look at, they're so crafty and they're so smart and they're so capable and they're so devious. They're alpha predators. And heaven is about ready to offer him, this group, its wrath. That's what's getting ready to happen. It's already happening, you know? And this group is so weird that I haven't even responded to them in a week. Mercy is for God, right? Forgiveness is for us. Mercy is for God. And I can't even offer this group forgiveness. I can't. I know what they do to kids. I know what they do to kids. And I know that this group, if you offer them forgiveness, they just use it to nefarious ends. You know, they they don't have any respect for anybody or anything. They're the ones that are brilliant. And I'm not having it anymore. And I'm not spending my whole day dealing with the intrigue and dealing with all the bullshit. I'm not doing it anymore. You know? And so I have things that I have to get done. And I have my own stress. You know? It is what? The 11th? And I don't have any money. I'm not sure how I'm going to eat for the rest of the month. But then I have people like Thomas sending me things where if he loses his house, I don't care. Because that's what they're trying to do to me. They're trying to cause any amount of pain that they can possibly inflict on me to shut me up, to stop me talking about all this child trafficking. You know? But there's no big overpass bridges that they can put me on like they did Isaac Kappy. You know? Oh, they've been very upset. I got an email today and all I did was forward it because that's all I've been doing is forwarding it because I'm done dealing with them. I'm done engaging them, you know? And I have an email from Thomas who's bitching in the email that I'm not responding to him. Well, I'm not getting any replies from Akino Saki. Stop. Stop. They're not used to me being on these anymore. And I have someone who's just right underneath who wants all my attention. Does not want me to be talking into my phone. You know? That's because I haven't sent out. I'm going to pray and I'm going to get off here. I'm going to pray and I'm going to get off here. I know it's a short one, but the fact that Thomas is working with Doug Mesner, the fact that I have figured out that Isaac was murdered, in May of 2019, and they blew up that Earlin, Iowa gas station 11 months later in April of 2020. And it was all to close us down, to shut us up. They blew up that gas station. They were willing to put a bunch of other people's lives in harm's way to fucking kill me. And they were willing to just take out however many people. Dan and his brother-in-law definitely would have died. You know? The dogs are definitely telling me. They want my attentions. And so I'm going to pray here because I really have stuff that I realized that I could get on here today. And so I just wanted to come on and do a quick one and say, hey, I'm here. I'm alive. Same shit, different day. Anybody who wants to contribute, I am definitely in need. PayPal and Venmo are just D Shurter. Again, I have my book for $30, but the numbers haven't gone freaky here because sometimes I get numbers like 300 people are in here and they're all fake. So today, and most of you about my book. And so, I'm working on stuff. There's more coming. From this point on, it's going to take me a while, but I'm going to start gravitating more to focusing on the word and trying to give people hope and inspiration for this period that we're in, and less dealing with these child killers that no one seems to want to do anything about, let alone my police, the FBI. I mean, and the stuff is just so out there and so in people's faces that you can show the truth to people, but you can't make them see. And I'm tired of beating my head on a brick wall. You know, I'm tired of beating my head on the brick wall. And I think that heaven has this. I think heaven is dealing with this stuff. I just have to have faith. And because I have to have faith, then I have to actually do what we need to do to 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 help other people keep their faith. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. And you all know it's hard to fill your heart with love. It's hard to follow the word. It's hard to follow the word when all you want to do is pick up a stick and smack them in the head with it. And that's not loving, you know? And so, but I understand. I understand the conflict, the tug and pull. Other Christians definitely make it hard because we're in a time now where they're not even real Christians. Oh, they're Christians, all right, in word only. But meanest, ugliest, most hateful people you've ever met. They call themselves Christian because it makes them feel superior. God is not Santa. Satan Claus is what I used to. Satan Claus. The one that gets everyone focused on what? Want. What do you want? What do you want for Christmas? What do you want? What do you want Satan Claus to bring you? What do you want? What want? Even though Jesus Christ himself says the worst thing to be done is to be judged and be found wanting. Because when you're wanting, you're not grateful for what you have. That's the difference. People who are constantly wanting are never happy with what they have. And because they're never happy with what they have, they're ungrateful sons of bitches. That's what they are, you know? And heaven doesn't much appreciate that. And so I'm not, ignorance and want, beware these creatures in every form. Exactly. Exactly. And right now, all of this evil, awful shit is being pushed. Because right now, evil is good and good is evil. That's what's happening. And so but with that, I'm going to pray. And then I'm going to get off here. This is going to be a short one. But I have stuff I've been working on, and I'm almost finished with the project, and I want to get it done. But I also didn't want to, that's from the Christmas Carol. Yeah. When I believe it was the children that were underneath the Ghost of Christmas Present. It was under his robe. Ignorance and want. That's the problem, Okay, with that said, I'm so glad that I distracted you from becoming a mean person. That's the reason why I want to start doing these things and not focusing on, when I found out that Lucien Greaves was involved with Isaac as well, it's just so in my face that I am sick of looking at it. I am sick to death of looking at it and seeing that law officials don't do shit about it. They just let these motherfuckers break into my house at will. These meth heads who live in apartments who are mad that I live in a house because I've made good decisions in my life. And I'm not a criminal, and I'm not a drug addict, my choices are my choices. And if they're mad that I made good choices, then they need to be mad at themselves for making bad choices. That's how I look at it. I don't worry about other people's choices. What do your choices actually how do your choices affect my life or my soul? They don't. So I just try to lead by example. And I'm glad that I helped. You're probably the reason why I decided to come on here, because I wasn't going to do this today. And then all of a sudden when I realized that I was no longer banned from doing this stuff, that I actually wanted to come, and I just felt compelled to do one. And I also feel a responsibility to you guys. I don't want people to feel all upset. That's why I asked Sherilyn, can you just tell people, just comment on a few of my latest videos. I just can't do it for a week. That way nobody thinks, I'm lying dead in my house. And so I find that when things are happening and you don't know what to do, the best thing to do is to sleep on it. Don't do anything, especially when you're angry. When you're angry, they say don't go to bed angry. But if you're angry and you need a break, sleeping is the thing because you might wake up with a completely different perspective. And I know people were worried, and I apologize for people to worrying you, but I don't know what else to do. You know, I'm am working with my producer. We're starting to figure out other venues as well, so that if one goes down, I can still go on the other, and that way people, you know, that way you guys just know, you know. I don't have the coverage that Isaac had, but Isaac doesn't have the protection that I have. You know, I'm well loved in heaven. They keep saying that I think that I'm special. And oh, I'm so special. I'm all that in a bag of chips. No, that's them. They're all convinced that they're all that in a bag of chips. Just the fact that I'm well loved in heaven is plenty enough for me. You know, it's plenty enough for me. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful. Because love has not been something that I've had a lot of in this life, let me tell you. It's not something I've had an abundance of. And so the fact that heaven on the other side loves me like it does, you know, I need to be careful. We're checking on everything. It's just so many things cost money now, and I don't have any money. Again, anybody who feels like donating so I can eat. I haven't been leaving the house, which is great because they can't break into my house when I'm here. You know, so I don't leave the house. You know, it sucks. But what else can I do? All right, I'm going to pray. Heaven, I know I just came to you, but I'm going to begin and end these broadcasts with prayer every time, just to try and invoke the love and energy of heaven into these. I ask that you reach out and touch all the people that are here. Into is having a rough time. We're all having a rough time. Things are, it's hard to not wake up and be angry and be controlled and dominated by that anger. And I ask that you temper our anger with grace so that we have the comparison, the equal comparison, so that we can make the right choices. Because if it's choosing anger over grace, my feeling is that most people will choose grace. So just open our eyes and our hearts and let us be aware of the grace that you offer us every moment we are alive. These days are hard, they're stressful. I ask for my own help because I've lost sleep, stressing out about how I'm going to feed myself. But hey, we're all in this same boat together. And I just ask that you help each one of us figure out how it is that we are able to be the inspiration that we want to see in the world. Because that's what we are all here to do, is to inspire each other to be better human beings. And we know how to do this because you sent your son, our brother, Jesus Christ, in to teach us the word and to show us how to live the word. But that's not easy a lot of times. And so we just ask for your grace. Again, I ask for your grace, not just for me, but for everyone. Those who can hear you and see you and feel you, help us become aware of your grace. And we say all this lovingly with compassion in your Son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Please don't go. Oh, guys, I did not want to come on here, actually, to be quite honest. Once I realized I could, I felt like I was obligated to come on and tell you guys that I'm okay. I simply used the word that Gio called me, and it was enough to get me banned for a week. It's a bad word, though. It's a disgusting, despicable word. And, but this group is disgusting. Yeah. Please, my producer would please like and share the videos. Comment, carry love in your hearts. Fill your hearts with love. These days are bad, but what's coming, what awaits us at the end, will make it all worth it. And when I tell you that everyone will be breathing in joy, that's how it's going to be, So it's bad now, but it's not going to stay this way. Nothing lasts forever. Everything has a season, and the season of heaven is coming quickly. But before we can reach that, we have to go through some shit. I will try to only be grouchy. You guys, as I get older, I am a grumpy old man. I am I'm nice when I'm out in public. That's the funny thing about it is that when you guys see me on here and I'm swearing like a sailor, it's because I'm just sitting in a room alone talking on my phone. When I'm out and about, I never swear. It doesn't occur to me to swear, but all of this is, sitting in a room by myself talking on my phone doesn't seem really real, even though it is, and I'm aware it is, but it's not like dealing with normal life. But it's going to get worse than we can even imagine. It's just beginning. It's just beginning. What the problem is that we can all see. You can see the writing on the wall, and you can see the writing on the wall. And we're going to have to be there for people, but all of their evil shit isn't coming to fruition like they wanted it to. People aren't just rolling over and taking it. And that's given me a lot of hope, because people are really tired of the anger. They're really tired of the hate. They're really tired of the dissension. And we're all tired of it. And there's a backlash, but the backlash almost is like heaven. And there's more of a compassion of love for each other and the human race. Whatever color you are, whatever religion you are, whatever, and when they're just touting their stupid evil shit or doing their weird ass salutes, it's finally making people take notice and realize that this shit is real. And that it's going to take all of us to stand up against it. Fill your hearts with love and take a stand. It's not easy. Following the word, doing what heaven needs you to do is rarely easy. You can almost invariably, I can promise you, that it's going to take you out of your comfort zone. Heaven is always demanding that I leave my comfort zone. And you won't understand why you need being told to do this stuff. Speak your voice, even though your voice shakes. That's just it. Speak the truth, even though your voice might shake, even though your knees are shaking, even though you have a lump in your throat and a pit in your stomach. Speak the truth and live the word. You know, live the word. And that word is love. Love God, love everyone else. It's a simple equation. Heaven, the timing for heaven is so long. Oh my God, it takes forever. But then when heaven comes through, it is spectacular. It's spectacular. And so, all right, I hate to do this. Oh, I just want to get off here. You know, it is the tension, dude, you know. All right, guys, I hate to do this, but I have animals that are expecting me. I will be doing this, what is today, Tuesday? I'll probably do one Thursday. This week I'll probably do three. So I'll probably do one on Thursday and then one on the weekend. And but like I said, my focus is not going to be 100% on this child trafficking bullshit anymore because I'm tired of it. You know, I'm tired of it. We're not woke, we're awake. There's a difference. There's a difference. You know? Woke, they've made into a bad word. We're not woke. We're awake. And that's what they don't like. They don't want people being awake. What do they do in the Matrix when you wake up? They try to flush you down. You know? We're awake. We're not woke. Their weird stuff is so weird. You know? The stuff that is associated with woke, I don't agree with half of that either. You know? So I much prefer to, I'm awake. You know? I'm awake. And I think a lot of us are awake. We just don't know what to do because the stuff is so weird that it's like you have to shake it off like a bad dream to figure where you're going to go and take your first step when you get out of bed. You know? I just got out of bed, so I feel good. All right. I got to get out of here. They're all sitting outside my room, just staring at me. So my presence is being required. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Fill your hearts with love. And pray. It doesn't help. It doesn't hurt. You know? When you start to get angry, pray. Actually take the moment. Go into a room by yourself and pray. And, you know, and be grateful. And realize that God and heaven is neither Santa Claus nor a fairy godmother or a genie. You know? So remember that.